Okay, so here we are for another unboxing slash build review. Now, this of course is for the Tundra, which is a 1300mm acrobatic high wing flyer, and it looks absolutely awesome. And I have to say, you can always tell when Hobby King are really excited about a particular product because, you know, Stuart, that does a lot of the presentations there, he gets really ramped up, and I can always tell when there's a product worth getting. Thanks to you know, Stuart's enthusiasm at Hobby King, and I just couldn't resist. I had to get my hands on the Tundra. There's also a few other models that I'm hoping to get my hands on sometime in the future, but we'll see how we go. This of course is from Durafly. This is the box that it came in. It does have a cardboard backing, and there are some parts and things that you need to get to when you crack it open. You'll figure it out. There's actually, it says it on the actual box itself that there's some accessories there that you need to yeah, just hold on to, which is in this bag. Now, before we get talking about the plane and the build and everything, I do want to go through a couple of things very quickly, and just some of the I guess accessories and manuals and everything that sort of comes with the plane. Now you can see back here that yes, it does come with floats, which means that I can actually take this down to a local lake. Perhaps I wouldn't take it to the ocean, but a lake, definitely freshwater, should be safe. And actually take it, you know, take off the water and land in the water as well. All the accessories and all the screws and everything does come, you know, in the box, so you can mount these guys straight on. This little sort of balsa wood, plywood type of thing that you're seeing here, this is an FPV canopy that you actually mount on the front of the plane here. Now, I don't have any FPV gear as of the time of this video, so this is not of much use to me at this time. However, it does inspire me to perhaps get myself into FPV, which I know a lot of people have been asking me to try out. And who knows, you may actually see some FPV flying in the future here in the channel. You never know. So these are all the sort of like little spare bits and pieces that I'll need for the float, including this little guy. And this is actually really, really cool. I actually picked this up. I noticed this in the pictures on Hobby King, because when the floats are on, obviously the rear wheel, which is attached to your rudder, which is steerable, that's how you taxi the plane around, that's going to be off the water. You can't really taxi the plane. It's going to be very difficult just using the rudder. So this actually, you take out the little rubber wheel, and well, it's actually not rubber, it's foam, but you take out the rear wheel and you put this in its place, and that dips into the water and allows you to steer the plane whilst you're taxiing around in the water. So very, very cool idea. So I do appreciate them including that, of course. Now, one of the things that I have to say I'm really, really happy with this plane, I think Durafly have actually done a fantastic job with this, is with all the little screws and everything, they're all labeled. So they all have like these little numbers, and I'll see if the camera can focus in on this. Let me see here if I can do this. There we go. So you can see all these little numbers on these little bags. Now, in the instruction manual, when you're putting the plane together, it tells you what screws you're supposed to be using. All right. Now, the instruction manual is very comprehensive. It's very well illustrated. There's a lot of information in here, which is such a welcome thing to have in a manual, considering some of the last few planes that I've actually put together. The manuals are really vague and very brief. You kind of have to fill in the blanks almost. Here, they didn't muck around. They give you everything that you need. You can't muck up the screws because everything is labeled in the bags. Just follow what's on here. All the instructions are there, very clear, very comprehensive. They even tell you how to attach the optional skis if you're going to be flying this guy on and off snow, for example. Well, I don't have snow here in Australia, especially now because I'm in summer, but it doesn't snow here in Melbourne, so I don't really need the skis, but the floats will definitely come in handy. Also tells you how to assemble the FPV canopy, how to attach the hook if you want to do like a tow a glider or something like that. This little bit here, this little bit of foam is actually to be attached underneath the plane, so you can attach this little like bomb drop mechanism. So you'll need an additional channel for that, of course. So there's everything is included in the box. All the instructions are very clear and comprehensive, and all the bags are very well labeled. So I know, big round of applause for Durafly, I think, is entitled, because they've done a fantastic job with the manual and the instructions. Very straightforward build, really easy to do. Nothing needs to be glued on. I mean, I suppose if you really want to glue stuff on, you can, but there's really no need to glue any of this stuff on. One of the best features on this plane, I think, not only does it come with like 90-degree flaps, but it also comes with a very rigid carbon fiber prop. I mean, this thing does not move. So it's fantastic. The foam feels really well compressed, very well molded. Everything about this is just well done. I mean, the hinges for the flaps, hopefully you guys can see that there. The hinges for the flaps just look fantastic. You can see how much the flaps will actually come down, and also the hinges for the, well, I was going to say the ailerons, and not the hinges for the ailerons because that's just on foam. But like the control rods are on a ball end as well. This is a very unique thing. I've not seen this on a plane before. How the control rod actually attaches to the servo horn. It has like this little plastic piece that goes over the top, so you can't actually, like, it shouldn't come off, and it was actually very hard for me to pull it apart to put it over the servo horn. So this is a really clever design. I've not seen this design before in any plane that I've put together, so very, very cool. The plane is incredibly light. It doesn't weigh very much at all, and of course another thing that is really cool about this plane is just the size of these wheels. When I took it out, I mean, I knew that it came with big wheels, but when I took it out of the box and I saw how big they actually are, I mean, seriously, they are massive, huge wheels. And when I saw how big they were, I started comparing it to some of my tires that I have for my cars. These are the same diameter as a 2.8-inch monster truck tire. I put them next to my trenches, my 2.8-inch trenches that I got on my Stampede. I'm looking over there because the Stampede's over there. And they're exactly the same diameter. Obviously, they're about half the width, but same diameter. And because they're made out of foam, they're super light. And yeah, they should be very, very good to take off on almost any terrain. Shouldn't be any problem at all. Now, this plane is known for being a Vtol, which is vertical takeoff and landing. So basically, you flip your flaps straight down, and you know, you should be able to take off in the space of like a meter or something like that, perhaps even less. It runs on a 2200 3S. The 3S of choice that I've gone for today is this guy, which is, this actually came together in the box of the plane. I'll bring it up close so you guys can have a better look at it. There it is there. That is the Bolt battery, 2200. This is a 65 to 130C discharge. And these Bolt batteries actually charge up a little bit higher than your standard 3S normal LiPos. So you do need a special charger. These are a high voltage battery, so you do need a special charger to get them up to that high voltage. You won't be able to achieve that with just your standard charger, unless of course it has that option in the menus. So just keep that in mind. But that's the only way. You can charge them as per normal. They'll work just fine if you don't have that option. But if you do want to get that extra kick, you'll definitely need that additional charger. Now, I have used a couple of these in the past, and they've worked very, very well. You can definitely feel the difference. It's almost like a 3.5S. I suppose, you know, you got 3S, you got 4S. This is like a 3.5S. That's what it feels like. It feels like you have just a little bit more punch, but not quite the same as a 4S, if that makes any sense. You also get a bunch of little spares and accessories. There's some stuff, some washers here for your prop. There's an Allen key, a bunch of spare screws. They give you a very decently chunky screwdriver, which is good, and that worked very well. I actually used that exact screwdriver to put a lot of this plane together. I used a couple of my ones, but I found that that one actually works pretty well on almost every screw that I needed to put on the plane. Now, as I said, this was very, very easy to do. The instructions are very straightforward. Really, if you've never built a plane before, this is probably the ideal first plane to build. The instructions are great. The plane's easy to go together. I put it together in less than an hour. I did have a couple of small little issues. One of them being my flaps servo. The servo horn was a little bit out of alignment. So what that means is I had to sort of just move it out, reposition the servo horn by a notch. So you basically unscrew it, take it out and just reposition it by about a notch, and it was good to go. That's the only sort of issue that I had with it. Putting these little plastic sort of caps on the wheels that holds the wheels in place, I couldn't really do it by hand, and they're not designed for like a hex drive or anything like that. So what I did is I put a rag over the top of them and sort of held them down with a bit of pliers and twisted them that way, and that's how I've managed to get them on, because doing them by hand was really, really tricky and my fingers started to burn up. So to avoid scratching them or damaging these little plastic caps that screw on to hold the wheels, put a rag over the top and just the pliers and you'll be good to go. You can see these are actual aluminium struts that they've got here going from the fuse to the wing, which makes it for a very rigid wing. And of course it does have a spar that goes all the way across the wing. Now, interesting thing, the wings have actually got a hollow spar in them already. So each wing's got a hollow spar, and then the spar that goes from one wing tip to the other, that slides inside. So very rigid, very well built. I don't think this thing is going to be a problem flying it. And there's spars everywhere. I mean, there's spars on the main wing, obviously. The rudder has a spar. I don't think you'll be able to see it, but there is a spar sort of going across here. There's more. You can probably see it on this side. There's more going across here. There's another one going in between the horizontal stabilizer here. And these two little kind of braces that are on here, this I think was a bit of an afterthought after the plane was kind of designed and put together, because the instructions to put these rear kind of stabilizers on came on a leaflet, not inside the actual manual itself. So I know this from experience working in retail for many years, that sometimes when there's something's missed, and rather than having to redo the entire instruction manual, they'll include a leaflet of some sort, or a warning or disclaimer about something, just so that people are aware. So the instructions to put this on, for these stabilizers, wasn't bad. They're not super necessary. I mean, if you're not going to be doing a lot of stunts with the plane, and it says so in that leaflet, if you're not going to be too hard on the plane, you don't necessarily need to have these on. But I plan on doing some stunts with it, and at the end of the day, I wanted to see how easy it was to put them on. You have to drill a little bit of a 1mm hole on this plastic bit here. I'll bring this up to the camera. So you kind of have to put a screw here. There's no hole pre-drilled. Come on, camera. There we go. There's no hole pre-drilled here for this screw, and then this bit here kind of gets glued on to the actual surface of the wing. I used some CA. I'm hoping it holds. If it doesn't, well, if it comes off, I'll maybe try some hot glue or something like that. We'll see how we go. That's really all I got to say about this plane. I think Durafly have done an outstanding job. This promises to be one hell of a plane. From the footage I've seen from Hobby King and also a couple of other independent videos, it looks like a lot of fun. It looks like it's really easy to fly, very acrobatic, and it should be, yeah, just one of these planes that I'm just going to have a lot of fun with. This is going to be something that, when you want to spend a little bit of time just taking it up, whether you want to take it easy or go all out and be acrobatic with it and just pull some stunts with something like this, this might just be the plane to throw in the back of the car and away you go. The top canopy where you put your battery, I should say, is right here. And let me tell you, I can almost put my hand all the way up to my elbow down this fuse. There's actually quite a lot of, well, I can't really go up to my elbow, but you can see how much room there is in here. As I said, this runs on a 2200, but I'm actually tempted to try like a 3000 or even bigger. Because there's so much room in here, and if I can get the CG right, I don't see why I wouldn't be able to use something a little bit bigger just to get a bit more flight time. On the back here, there is another little hatch. This, of course, is where your rear servos for your elevator and rudder are, and of course that's where your receiver goes in there. I've got this connected up to my Turnigy, my newly acquired Turnigy i10. This is an excellent radio. I'm really happy with it, really easy to tune, very much like the FlySky one, but I just like the way that it feels, and the trim buttons and everything are just a bit better located, I think. Now, a cool thing about this front canopy, that I really like, because it's a canopy. I mean, the rear canopy doesn't have this feature because you kind of don't really use it all that often. But the front canopy has this little bit of plastic here for you to grab. So when you take it on and off, because it's going to be heavily used, you're going to be changing batteries all the time. They've put a little bit of plastic there just so that you don't wear out the foam. So again, just a very minor thing that just means that it's been well thought out. Somebody's actually taken the time to think through this. So that's pretty much it, guys. This is the Durafly Tundra. Really easy to put together. It went together very quickly. Probably the thing that took me, I suppose that slowed me down, was just realigning the servo horns for the flaps. The ones on the ailerons were perfectly fine. All the other ones, for the rear surfaces there, they were totally fine as well. Putting on the prop, before I forget, the plane comes with this little nut, and I'll show you this here quickly. The plane comes with just a little nut to hold the prop in place, and I'll see if I can get this to focus here. There we go. So this is a little nut, and it's designed to just sort of go over the front here, and it just looks unfinished. So I had a look through my spare parts box, and I found this little spinner here, which kind of fitted on the screw that's sort of mounted to the motor, and it kind of finishes it off a little bit neater, I think. Just so that you don't have a bare bolt kind of sticking out of the front. It would be nice to have a nice spinner on here as well. I don't know why they didn't put one, but I don't know, just having a plain bolt sticking out of the front didn't quite seem right to me. So I'm glad I had this spinner kind of laying around. It's a little bit small, I know, but at least it looks better than just a bare bolt. So aside from that, I mean, Durafly have done a great job on the plane and how it goes together and how everything fits together. It all went together very smoothly. I didn't really have to modify anything or change anything, and it looks fantastic as well. But I think they just kind of missed a little, very small detail just on the propeller here, especially when you got such a nice carbon fiber prop. Why just have a little bolt kind of exposed like that? When I put it on, I was like, really? This is how it's going to be finished? So yeah, glad I found that, and yeah, it looks a little bit better. All right, that is it for this video, guys. I don't want to blabber on too much longer. I'm just really excited about this plane, in case you can't tell. This is one that I'm very much looking forward to flying, and hopefully it'll push my skill level that much further, just being able to do a few more stunts, touch and goes, vertical takeoffs, all of this. I can even hand launch this thing if I want to. Of course, having the floats is going to give me a completely new experience once I actually find a location where I can fly this, over water, land it. That's something new for me as well. So very excited about flying this guy, and just showing you all what it can do, or I suppose what I can do with it to a certain extent as well. So that's it, guys. Thank you all very much for watching. As always, do not forget to check out the video description down below. I'll have a link to the plane, as well as maybe perhaps a little bit more information about it. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe. I'll have some flight footage of this guy up on the channel very, very soon. And of course, I'll always appreciate a bit of a thumbs up on the video, because it certainly inspires me to continue on doing some more of these videos. But hey, thumbs it down if you didn't enjoy it. That is it from me. Once again, thank you all very much for watching, and I will speak to you next time.